Hey, there's JB the Gentleman Barber here with Hair Designs Barbershop. I want to thank you personally for purchasing your shave kit through JB the Gentleman Barber, and I also want to congratulate you on your journey to a fantastic shave and the world of wet shaving. So we're going to talk about a few things in this video. We're going to talk about what you're going to get in your kit. So just want to talk to you a little bit about what comes in your kit. Here is your caddy. This holds the bowl. The bowl will come out of the caddy like so. You put your cake of soap right down inside that. This is the brush that it comes with. It also will hang in here to dry, so when you're not using it, you can allow it to dry. This is what they call an alum block. The alum block is an aftershave treatment that will cut down on irritation, cuts, nicks, scrapes, those sort of things. And then you get your toiletry bag to put it all in. So that's what your beginner kit comes with. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your purchase. We're also going to be talking about how to take care of your brush, a little bit of maintenance type of stuff. So in your kit, you should have got a brush that's somewhat similar to this brush right here, the bristles, and we need to talk a little bit about how to take care of this. If you take care of your brush, it will take care of you. Now, these hairs on here, or the bristles, they're made of badger hair. But with that being said, here's the thing. You need to know how to care for your badger brush, okay? So, here's how you do it. Once you get done with your shave, you're completely done. You want to rinse this out thoroughly until the water is clean and clear. Once you do that, you want to just shake it out a little bit, and then you're going to put it back in its caddy, and let me show you that. You're going to put it, you got a caddy like this. Now this one is a little too large to fit in here. The one you have should just kind of slide into the caddy. Once it slides into the caddy, you're just going to allow it to air dry. Simple as that. You really don't want to let it air dry on the counter like this because it could possibly loosen the knot. You don't want that. So for precautions reasons, just hang it upside down and let it air dry, okay? So that's just a little bit of housekeeping and how to take care of this brush that's going to take care of you. So one of the things we're going to do in this video is we're going to show you how to work up a proper lather with your brush, okay? So just stay tuned here. We're going to run a little bit of hot water into the basin. And again, I want to tell you, here's the thing. If you can stand the amount of heat that you've got in your water basin, that should be enough. If you go too hot, you could possibly loosen the knot, and it could be detrimental to the handle, to the bristles, and to the glue, the construction of the brush itself. You don't want to do that. So if you can stand it, the heat, then your brush should be able to stand the heat. Okay? So let's run a little bit of hot water in the water basin here, and let's work up a great lather, okay? All right, now you're going to take your brush and you're just going to put it right down in the water. You're going to let that soak for about 30 seconds to a full minute. Let those bristles just soften up with that warm water. And again, I can't reiterate this enough. If it's too hot for you to touch, don't put your brush in it. So I just wring it out a little bit, then I shake out the excess of the water. Now, you're going to grab your shaving bowl. You've already put your puck in your shaving bowl. You're going to dip down and put just a little bit of water on that bristle. Again, just kind of wring it out. And you want just a little bit here. And now you're just going to put it in a bowl, and you're going to work up a lather. You're just going to use the tips, and you're going to agitate this back and forth. You're going to start to see it's going to lather pretty quickly, because that's what our soap is made to do, is made to lather up quickly. And what you'll notice about it is it has what I call staying power or stability. Once you get done with one side of your face, you should have a good creamy rich lather, the same as you did on the other side. So you're loading the brush is what we're doing here. We're just loading this brush and agitating that. Now we've probably got more than enough to do a shave and do what they call several passes. This is the consistency that you should get out of your lather. Just keep working it as if you were working it on your face. And here momentarily we'll show you how to work it on your face. But I want you to see what you should expect out of a good shaving soap. You should get plenty, I'm talking about plenty of lather. And if you're only shaving a couple of days a week, because some of us, when we're first starting, we don't have to shave every day, this Pukka soap should last you well in the range of 6 months. See how much lather you're going to get out of that? That's enough for several shaves. So that's what our shaving cream is supposed to do, is it's supposed to really lather up really well. And this is what you should get. So we're going to enjoy a great face shave this morning. I'm going to show you all the steps, everything that you need to do to have a proper shave and have a great experience. So we're going to start out by grabbing our bowl of soap and our brush. We're going to saturate again. We're going to wring it out just a little bit here. I'm going to get, just like we did in the previous video, we're going to work up a lather. A good 30 seconds of loading this brush should be all that you need, and you're going to get a great lather. Get this here on this other side. All right. Now, circular motions. You want to start out doing circular motions with this and applying that lather. Nice warm lather on your face. It should be enjoyable. Take your time and enjoy this portion, because this is part of the wet shaving experience, is this wonderful warm lather, okay? All right. Now what I like to do is just paint it on. After I get done doing the circular motions, I like to just kind of give a good skim coat, paint it on, just like it sounds. Paint it on. Now, let's talk a little bit of grain change or patterns that your beard grows in, okay? Let's break this down into a couple of areas here. We're going to put a line right here, a line right here. It's going to kind of look like a tic-tac-toe. Now, this is important, guys, because you need to know what grain change is, because you want to create the least amount of irritation on your face as possible. So let's talk grain change here, okay? Now, what I'm talking about is growth patterns of the beard, how your beard actually grows. So your beard up top generally will grow downward here. So both sides of your face will be a downward stroke. This area here is another area. The grain really doesn't change. Sometimes it'll grow sideways here, but this is still going to be a downward stroke whenever you take your razor on it. Again here, it's going to be a downward stroke. This is going to be a downward stroke. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This area right here, down below this is where the grain change happens. This hair actually will grow up. So you want to shave in the direction of that growth pattern. So you want to shave up on these areas. So it'll be more of a upward motion, like so. So those are grain changes. And the reason this is important, if you go with the grain, the first pass, you're going to get a lot less irritation. You go against the grain and it's going to be very uncomfortable, and it's going to potentially give you razor burn, razor bumps, and those sort of things. So that's why this is important. Now, let's talk a little bit about razors. Traditional shaving with wet shaving, generally people love to use these. These are an option. This is what a double-edged razor blade looks like. You got a edge here and an edge down here. We're not going to use one of those today. Now, I know some of my purists are going to be like, I can't believe you're doing a wet shave video and you're going to use what I'm about to use. But the reason I'm doing this is because I've had a request to use this. And in your wet shaving journey, it's your journey. You do however you want to do. You don't have, you can break some of these rules. I would not break the rule of doing my first pass against the grain. I wouldn't break that rule. We're going to be using this, and I apologize that I've got a little bit of lather on there. So we're going to be using this. It's a Harry's razor. It's going to be probably something similar to something you already have in home, okay? And that's the reason I'm using that. Let's lather back up. And let's get into the shave. Again, this should be the enjoyable part, is lathering up, getting ready for the shave. Paint it on after you get done doing the circular pattern. Now, we're going to stretch the skin. One of the enemies to shaving is a wet hand. Have you a nice towel there and dry that off. Now, we're going to stretch the skin taut right here. Again, a downward motion. You don't want to apply a lot of pressure with the razor blade. You allow the blade to do the work. Rinse after every stroke. Nice, good, long, easy strokes. Now, you can do a couple of strokes like that. Now, another thing is this. I'm again pulling that skin a little tight there. You can buffer the blade, and this is called blade buffering. Pull your skin tight here, you're going to do another downward stroke. That's blade buffering. See how I'm just doing short strokes? And you can do that, that's perfectly fine. Or you could do a real smooth stroke like that. But if you feel it necessary to do some buffering, do some buffering. Some areas it actually works better to do a little bit of blade buffing. Okay? Now, let's do an upward stroke here. Again, following the pattern of hair growth. Up. Now, again, this side right here, we'll probably try to go to this camera here. We're pulling tight. We're doing that. I like a nice even stroke. If you find your hands getting wet, dry it off. If you got a section that's slick because soap's got on it, dry it off. Downward stroke. Upward stroke, grain change. Now, let's do the lip. Nice down. Pull that lip tight with your lip. I like to do a little blade buffing on the lip. It feels more natural. Now I want to show you something. The reason you're making these awkward like faces is because you notice right here that this right here has a dip in. So you'll have an edge here and you want to flatten that out by taking your lip, and that flattens that area out. You won't be as prone to cutting that area if you'll flatten it out. Pull it tight or use your mouth muscles, okay? Now, right here is a grain change. Let's go up here to about right there. Now, that grain change is going to happen again. Careful and don't talk while you're shaving. Especially in that area. Now, you're right-handed, you're going to go right. Pull that skin tight. And don't put a lot of pressure. Let your blade do the work. That soul patch is an upward motion. Now, corners of the mouth are hard to get. So, I would take my towel and dry that area off. If you notice that you didn't get in the corners of your mouth very well, right here, that's a trouble area. It's hard to get. You're going to open your mouth and pull. And get right there. Now, if you've got a pronounced Adam apple, let me show you another trick here. We can get some of this off my face here. Here's another trick if you've got a pronounced Adam's apple. I don't because I'm a little chubbier. Pull your skin over. Shave that area. Take it, pull it over. Shave the other side. Then whenever it comes back, you shave the Adam's apple. So that is your first pass. I would recommend, if you're first starting out shaving, to only do a first pass. Your hair is probably not that thick. You probably don't need a second pass. If you're more advanced and you want to do a second pass, you're going to lather up again. Like so. Now on your second pass, this is your opportunity to get a little bit closer shave. Now, we had some rules on that first pass. Is to go with the grain. Second pass, you're going to either go. Now, when I'm talking about pass, again, this is a second pass. Some people do a third pass. I'm going to teach you a technique that I like because this does not cause as much irritation as going completely against the grain. Now remember, I told you our areas of shaving, again, are a tic-tac-toe pattern. And then you have this area here. So you got a tic-tac-toe pattern, right? Now, against the grain, remember we said these were up on that first pass. You would actually go down if you wanted to go against the grain. You would go up if you wanted to go against the grain and up. Right? I'm going to show you a different technique though. This technique is across the grain. And I like doing across the grain because it achieves a closer shave, but it creates less irritation and less friction. You're not going against the grain. So across the grain is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to go across your face. Across those areas. Now this achieves a much closer shave. And again, I'm letting my blade do the work. I like this better. In my opinion, it does. Now, if I'm really want to get a real close shave, I may do a third pass. I may do my second pass across the grain and get that pattern. And then if I really, really wanted to get real close, and you want to clean out your blade pretty often. I may not clean mine out as much as I should. Now you see that stringiness? What that stringiness is they've got that moisture strip on there. A lot of times that strings. I don't get that stringiness with the soap whenever I use a traditional safety razor. So across the grain is a very valid way of doing things. If you wanted to do a third pass, this is very advanced, you could do a third pass. You're going to lather up one more time if you wanted to do this. I don't recommend this for new shavers, but you can always go against the grain. This is going to give you this is aggressive, and this is going to give you a very close shave. Could possibly cause some irritation. Against the grain is exactly how it sounds. Instead of being up here, you're going to go down on that grain change. And you can hear it's taking off some more hair. Let's go up against that grain change. And I'm doing this fast. But that just gives you the idea. You could actually do that on that upper lip. I do not like doing that. Talk about maybe cutting yourself. Now, that is the third pass. I don't recommend doing it. I don't think it's necessary. But I just did it for demonstration purposes. Now, let's talk a little bit about aftershave. Aftershave. I prefer using an alum block. An alum block is your friend because it's going to help out with any irritation. You're going to take the water in your basin and you're going to moisten this block. And you're just going to rub it in a circular motion over the areas you shave. Now, this is an antiseptic. So you are going to feel you have taken off the top layer of skin. You will feel a tingle. You will feel a little bit of a burn. That is supposed to do this. It's supposed to tingle. It's supposed to burn. It's going to. And what it does is it's closing off those pores. It's tightening pores. It is an antiseptic. It will stop bleeding. Minor cuts. Now, if you cut yourself real bad, it's not going to stop it. But minor cuts, it will seal those off. But I like the way this stuff feels. And I'll run it over my face and it tightens the skin. It's really good for your skin. It's actually a mineral. So if you were to taste it, I don't recommend you tasting it. But if you were to taste it like you've got a little bit on your tongue, it's going to be very bitter and salty because it's a mineral. It's not something that you want to do, but if you did get a little bit on your tongue from it being on your face, occasionally that might happen. But I really enjoy my alum block. Now they make other post-shave products after you shave. But I just tend to like this one probably the best. Alright, with that being said, my friend, that's all she wrote for the shave. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy your wet shave. And with that being said, stay dapper, my friend. Stay very dapper.